Welcome to Storytime with Librarian Leslee. That's me. I work for Surrey Libraries, and this is Storytime for families. Can you wave and say hello? We wave and say hello. We wave and say hello to all our friends at Storytime. We wave and say hello. Can you clap with me? We clap and say hello. We clap and say hello to all our friends at Storytime. We clap and say hello. Can you stomp? You can't see my feet, but I'm going to stomp. Will you stomp with me? We stomp and say hello. We stomp and say hello to all our friends at Storytime. We stomp and say hello. Do you have a favorite animal? I certainly do. My favorite animal is, here we go, dogs. Ruff, ruff, ruff. This is Rags. Hey Rags, do you want to sing your song? Yes, he does want to sing the song. Yes, he's so excited. Do you know the song about Rags? I've got a dog and his name is Rags. He eats so much that his tummy sags. His ears flip-flop and his tail wig-wags. And when he walks, he goes zigzag. He goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, I love Rags. And he loves me. My dog Rags, he loves to play. He runs around in the yard all day. I whistle, but he just won't stay. He always runs the other way. He goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wiggle-waggle. Zigzag, I love Rags. And he loves me. Yes, he does. Well, I saw Rags one day at the pet store. And I looked at my mom and I said, how much is that doggy in the window? Ruff, ruff, the one with the waggly tail. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. How much is that doggy in the window? Ruff, ruff, I want to know, is he for sale? I saw him about a week ago, Mom. I fell in love. I want him so tell me please if he's for sale. How much is that doggy in the window? Ruff, ruff, I want to know if he's for sale. Ruff, ruff, how much is that doggy in the window? Ruff, ruff, the one with the waggly tail. Don't you just love how their tails wiggle waggle and their ears flip flop? I have a book. I have a book with a doggy in it. Where's my book? Now, it's also a song, and I do love to sing at Storytime. So maybe you could sing with me. This is Do Your Ears Hang Low by Carol and Jane Church, and it's published by Scholastic. Do your ears hang low? Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your ears hang low? This is a very old song. Here's another verse. Do your ears hang high? Do they reach up to the sky? Do you wrinkle them when they're wet? Do you hang them out to dry? Can you wave them at your neighbor? Boo, 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 with an element of flavor? Here's your big surprise. Ready? Do your ears hang low? That's such a lovely heart they made with their ears. That was a nice song in a storybook. So we have time for one more little felt story with a special friend who's a surprise at the end. Okay, but the story starts off with a cake. Can you see my beautiful cake? It's a birthday cake. This is the cake that Mac ate. And here is an egg. That egg went into the cake that Mac ate. You know where eggs come from, don't you? That's the hen who laid the egg that went into the cake that Mac ate. Here's some lovely yellow corn. That's the corn that fed the hen who laid the egg that went into the cake that Mac ate. Here is Mr. Farmer. So he planted the seeds that grew into the corn that fed the hen that laid the egg that went into the cake that Mac ate. And here's the lovely farmer's wife who loves the lovely farmer. And he owns the hen and he fed her the corn. He planted it too. And then she laid the egg that went into the cake that Mac ate. Are you ready to meet Mac? The farmer knew we were leaving. Here we go. Drum roll. What's the story time about? Here is Mac. Ho ho ho. What did Mac do? Naughty dog. He ate the whole cake. What a dog. Did you like that story? Well, that's all the time we have for story time today. Can you wave and say goodbye? We wave and say goodbye. We wave and say goodbye. With all our friends at story time, we wave and say goodbye. We clap and say goodbye. We clap and say goodbye. With all our friends at story time, we clap and say goodbye. One more stomp. We stomp and say goodbye. We stomp and say goodbye. With all our friends at story time, we stomp and say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. This is Librarian Leslee saying, see you next time at Surrey Libraries.